Okay, hi guys, I'm Luc from Outsider Review, and I'm usually the outsider of the group here. So today we're with Renault. We're going to be talking about an EV product which is quite different. Here we go with power sport product. So Renault, talk to us about your product.
Yeah, well, Taiga Motors, we're the first and only manufacturer in the power sport for both personal watercraft, which is the Orca right here, and the snowmobiles. We brought the Nomad today and the Orca at the Salon de Véhicules Électriques in Quebec City. And yeah, we're proud to showcase the products. And we're in market, we're in production, there's now products available. So we went through the bumps of production and we're now ready for prime time.
Okay, so what's the output, of your product? Can you talk about the snowmobile first, because I'm a snowmobile guy. So what is your performance on it?
Yeah, Luc was very curious. When he came in, he's like, oh, snowmobile, electric, how about that? So yeah, so the snowmobile, we're in the second season is completed for the Nomad. We completely sold everything that we made for the season. The Nomad is a utilitarian snowmobile, so I like to call it the pickup or the SUV of the snowmobile. It's amazing for the type of people that are getting those types of product. It's got more than 1,000 pounds of towing capacity.
Is that class leading?
It's pretty class leading. When we talk to people that are outfitters, people that own ski resorts and those types of people, the more than 1,000 pounds of towing is a huge benefit, and it is amongst the best in the industry, if not the best in the industry.
Okay.
The Nomad, you asked about the output, so it's a 120 horsepower machine.
Yeah.
Has a wide stance, it's a very comfortable sled, and the benefits of EVs in the sled world are very unique and interesting. The CVT, the delay usually that you get with a traditional transmission
In the clutch, yeah.
and the clutch are quite sad. When you get an EV, it's instant, there's no noise, there's no fumes,
Okay.
so people really enjoy it. And for business purposes, not having to worry about fueling it up, maintenance, no spark plugs, it gets very, very appealing. Put a charger, and usually for those that have business operations, the range is too much. It gets about 100 kilometers of range.
Okay, what's your class 1 and your class 2 charging time?
Yeah, so you charge, usually people take a level 2 charger that would charge the unit in about 3 hours to replenish completely, so overnight is plenty sufficient. And then we also have a quick charge, the level 3, which is the combo adapter, 400 volts, so that replenishes to 80% in less than 40 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so for people, we had a client this last season that made 350 kilometers in a day using those quick chargers along the route. So that's pretty great. And that infrastructure of charging is also growing all the time. So it allows for a lot of flexibility to also use sleds for longer distances. But the 100 kilometer is great for a lot of people. And then the charging network also allows for longer distances fairly easily. So.
Okay, from a snowmobile guy perspective,
Yes.
what kind of suspension you got on it? Is that aftermarket really?
So you've
upgrade
noticed.
stuff?
I'm sure you've
Yeah,
noticed.
I noticed.
So the Orca, not the Orca, sorry, the Nomad that we produced last season, we went with our full spec'd out performance version, which is the most equipped of the Nomad. So it's got the Elka Stage 3, all adjustable suspension. So you have 4 chocks. It's got wider track, the big skis, and it's the 120 horsepower machine.
That's a 17-inch track, right?
16 on this case
16,
for last year. Yeah. So again, we really brought the pinnacle of what we could do. Last season was our second season of production on the Nomad. We had a great production run towards the end. And so next season, 2024, our pricing are coming out soon, and we will bring more variants. So we'll have more of a standard suspension that's a bit more affordable, but we'll keep also a performance variant like this one, which is going to be obviously a bit more expensive, but price-wise, we're really close to what sleds in that industry last year. You see the Nomad like this was roughly 25 grand here in Canada.
What we're looking at right now is a stock machine, right?
Yes, that's what.
So it comes exactly as is. Is there options like a taller windscreen or end guard or something that you guys offer right now?
Not yet, but we're working on option catalog. And if I could show your cameraman also one unique feature, if you allow me, Luc, just to go in the front. Usually in the front of the machine you get an exhaust system. In this case, because it's electric, we have a little storage bin. So again, you have utility up in the back and utility up in the front, which are cool features that are again unique to an EV machine. So
That's awesome. In terms of center of gravity, is that the weight lower because of the batteries?
So the machine has a similar weight to a utilitarian comparable sled. We're about 750, 780 pounds.
Okay.
But, so comparable. The big difference is instead of having the weight all up front in the machine, the weight distribution is way more even throughout the unit. So the ride is definitely different, but it's very stable. And as I said, the fact that you get no clutch, no delays, the ease of use is unparalleled.
What kind of braking system is there? Is there a disc attached?
Yeah, there's a disc, but the regen does pretty much everything. You barely need your brakes to operate it. Yeah. So we have a Hayes disc brake system, which is conventional in the industry. Very good quality disc brake, but they're overkill for what you need in this instance.
Sounds good. Looking forward for trying this coming winter. So let's move on to the next product.
Yeah, the Orca.
Okay, Renaud, now talk to me about this brand new toy that you have beside you.
Yeah, so the Orca, which is our personal watercraft. So we started with the snowmobile that we just talked about, and we went to personal watercraft because there's a lot of similarities on the powertrain.
Yep.
And again, we're unique in that segment. Nobody else makes these types of products in the EV space. Amazing product, really fun to ride. If you ask the same question about the output, in the case of the Orca, we're talking 160 horsepower and roughly 2 hours of playtime when you go to a body of water. So pretty much everyone that has a lake, it becomes almost a no-brainer to consider it.
Yeah.
Because you charge at your dock, again, about 2 hours of charge time, and then you can play on your lake, go back, charge if you need, play again. So very, very unique offering, not having to worry about the jug of gas, the spark plug, the maintenance, and all of that. And the amazing news about the Orca is we started with that carbon fiber version. So that was the Orca
gorgeous.
Carbon. That's a limited run. So when you came and you saw it, you're like, oh, the green, the saddle, that's awesome. We love the look of it. Unfortunately, or fortunately, there's a few remaining units on the carbon, but we're switching, and we switched a couple of months ago to a more standard SMC product, so plastic carbon fiber composite.
Yeah.
But it also allows for a way more accessible unit. So the Orca performance price point is roughly in the 25,000, so very close to what it would be for a gas equivalent.
Okay.
But you get a 160 horsepower machine. And one of the feedback we get all the time is this is as stable as a much bigger craft, because you really get your weight center of gravity super low.
Super low, yeah.
Exactly, but you get the nimbleness and the fun of a small toy, because it is pretty small in terms of footprint, and the weight being down so low makes it super fun to ride, yet the stability is unparalleled, and you can't really tip the craft. So that's really, really amazing for these types of products. And the no noise factor, you think on a lake in the early morning, you don't want to disturb your neighbors. This is just a unique offering in the industry. And again, production on the Orca Performance is ramping up. We have products available, so more and more we can match people when they reserve very quick to getting their deliveries. So there's a few amazing news on the Orca. And that's our second year of production that we're in right now on the Orca. And we now have two products on the Orca lineup with the Carbon, which is, again, limited run, but then the performance will remain with future years and the years to come.
Okay, next question. How do you manage electricity and water when you're charging it? I'm just asking for an outsider perspective, and to me it's surprising.
Yeah, it's the name of your channel, so that's awesome. But that's a question we get all the time. But in reality, every machine that runs on a lake or on the roads or off the roads needs electricity. There's a 12-volt system, and if that 12-volt system dies, that unit dies.
Yeah.
In this case, we only deal with electricity. But to answer your question, all of the battery pack, all of the motor, all of these elements are sealed up.
Okay.
So even if water goes in, and in fact, water goes in, if you notice on the Carbon, there's a bilge pump on the side, which is pretty unique in the personal watercraft business. But even if water goes in, it doesn't affect the battery. The battery is sealed up and ready to go. And again, for me, it's an interesting question, but the traditional gas also doesn't work well with water. You know, you think of an explosion, fire, gasoline, usually with water doesn't work so well. But on an EV, it's a bit like in the car industry. The batteries are sealed up. We use battery grade technology battery. We have all of our battery systems are cooled, so we have thermal management, so we get really the most out of them. So.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. So, Renaud, can you charge that machine while it's on the water? We're all curious about it.
Yeah, no worries. So you can charge it pretty much anywhere, anyhow. So we do events all the time. This is, again, a bit like the battery. It's meant to be on outside. It's meant to be outdoors. You can charge it on level 2, level 1, level 2, level 3. On the lake, that's what we do all the time. That's what most of our customers do. You know, the units on the dock, they put their protectors and they just charge it overnight or during the day, and when they're ready to use it, they use it, and that's about what it is. But yeah, you can charge it up. The charge time is about 2.5 hours to charge it up.
Okay.
And you get about 2 hours of fun time on the lake. It's 160 horsepower, so obviously a personal watercraft like this, if you really abuse it when you run it, you probably won't have 2 hours of full throttle playtime, but you get quite a bit of time on the lake, and you honestly, it's so fun that full throttle you won't be able to do 2 hours anyways. So.
Okay, Renaud, let's talk about maintenance of these electric EV vehicles, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's again another unique benefit of going in an EV. You think of maintenance normally when you get these types of product, whether it's a snowmobile or the personal watercraft, you have spark plugs, you have coolant, you have oil, you have all of these things that don't exist in those machines. So we talked earlier about the winterization process. It's basically down to a wash. You keep it in your garage, you put it back in the water next season. So very simple maintaining those units over the years.
Do you need because I have a lot of toys.
Yes.
You keep like a tender charger on it to keep a level in your batteries.
So,
is that recommended? Or?
So what we say is to keep the battery at a good stage. If people end up their season and the battery's at 80%, they could keep a bit like a trickle charge or not, because it won't drain all that much. The next season it might go down because of the fact that the units is communicating online for updates. But as long as it remains in a good range during the season, next season is good. It's not like a traditional battery like the toys that we have for our daily commute, where in the winter we try to plug them. Yeah. It's not the case. But
okay, great.
In terms of maintenance, you see the warranty is 3 years on the powertrain, which is very good in the industry. And again, the battery is sealed up. The oil changes don't exist. The flush of the fluids doesn't exist. There's no spark plug at all. So the things that usually break, the wear and tear that you get in the machine or the cost that you have every single year to operate those, they basically vanish with these types of product, which makes, again, the price is very close to what you get in a ICE version of these toys, but you now have a personal watercraft that year over year has a lower cost of operation. The fuel itself, we don't need to mention. And bringing the fuel to the dock, there's always spills, there's always smells, and just carrying that around is not that fun. So now put the plug on the dock and you're good to go. Very simple.
Plug and play.
Pretty much plug and play.
Okay, Renaud, thank you very much for introducing us to your product, Taiga.
Thank you for being with us. Look, it's a pleasure.
And guys, don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. Thank you very much.